All right, on belay.
Belay is on.
Climbing.
Climb on.
So Tomas has given me a good spot here. He just gave me a ton of slack because the rope's doing nothing for me until I clip that first piece. In fact, a tight belay at this point could pull me off and be really dangerous, but it's not doing me any good. And I can place a great piece right there. I don't want to extend this piece because if I extend the piece, it's not keeping me off the ground for as long. And that's my concern with these first couple pieces, is I don't want to hit this ledge or the ground in a fall. Now, I do want to talk about a concept related to that, which is that the first piece in some situations needs to be good for a multi-directional pull. In other words, a cam, ideally, not a nut. This is a good example of that situation. I'm going to place a second piece here and then illustrate why that first piece needs to be multi-directional. If I fall now on this second piece with the rope going out to Tomas, when I fall it goes tight and the rope wants to move out to that point where it's tight and it can pull outward on that first piece. If it pulled outward on a nut that was only good for a downward pull and popped that nut out, suddenly you're weighting that upper piece with everything you've got. It's the only piece between you and the ground. And if that thing fails, you're done. So if your belayer is standing back, where loading the rope causes the rope to want to go out, it is good for that first piece to be multi-directional. However, if your belayer is standing right under you, that's not an issue because the rope doesn't pull out. And if the second piece is so good you don't care, then that's another situation where it doesn't really matter. So there are plenty of times where I'll place a nut for my first piece, either because the belayer is right here and the rope's not going to pull out, or because I know the second piece is going to be an awesome piece that's not going to fail. So in addition to placing lots of gear right off the ground, which I've done here, I want to think about not trying to stop and place gear from difficult stances. So there, that's my next really good stance. I didn't want to stop midway through that move, but now I'm comfortably stemming. I've got a nice little nubbin there and my right foot firmly jammed there. So I do want to place another piece at this point. The farther I go above this piece, the closer I'm getting to hitting that ledge in a fall. But a mistake that a lot of beginners will make is getting halfway into that move and then really struggling and burning a lot of energy placing that next piece of gear. Climb to the rest, they say. I've got 3 great pieces, but that bottom one's no longer preventing me from hitting the ground in a fall. Now, pretty soon, this piece, once I get, what would you say this is, Tomas, 8 feet above the ledge?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
So by the time my feet are passing that piece, it's not keeping me off the ledge anymore. I'd fall 8 feet plus the rope stretch. Now, it's really just this upper piece keeping me off the ledge in a fall. So the really conservative choice here would actually be to place another piece before leaving this stance. So let's illustrate that. There, money, nut placement. Because it's a nut, and as I climb past it, I don't want to wiggle it loose, I'm going to go ahead and put a sling on it. I'm not going to extend that sling though. I think that's enough protection from getting wiggled. Yeah. So I placed a lot of gear in quick succession. right off the ground because I don't want to hit the ground, and that's the crux section of the climb. Now I'm going to place gear much less frequently. Moving forward. Right there, I made a decision to run the rope over the outside of my leg, thinking that if it were between my legs, there's a little bit more chance that if I fell, it would get behind that foot and flip me upside down. The goal if I fall is to keep the rope outside my legs so that when it goes tight, it doesn't catch one of my legs and flip me. Okay, it's been a while since I placed a piece. I'm at a nice resting stance. I should place something. That looks good. I think I'll extend that one just so the rope's not diving into the crack too far and rubbing against the rock. Yeah, that's nice right there. Now as I leave this little ledge, I should think about placing another piece before too long, so I don't hit it if I fall. In fact, I could place a piece right there. I should do it. Yeah. This is a weird move where the crack kind of ends or it widens. So I could like try to do an arm bar there or reach for the next good hand jam. Kind of a cool move. All right. Another place where I'm at a good resting stance. My last piece is at my feet. May as well place another one. Ooh, I could place higher. I'm at such a good stance here that I think pulling out that extra rope above my head is not a big risk. I'm not gonna fall. And with the piece higher, it will keep me safer for longer. So that's a bunch of rope, right? If I fell right there, that would be bad. But that's a decision you can make based on how good your stance is. Sometimes clipping above your head is an okay thing to do. Let's see, oh, I should place a piece. Now if I clip down here, I'm not pulling up any extra rope. So that's the counter example right there. I didn't pull up any rope at all to clip that piece. So if you're placing gear in the middle of a hard move, that's the way to do it. All right, let's say I want to place a piece. I certainly should place a piece at this point. I could place a piece right here, but just to illustrate a point, let's say the best placement, or the one I have the gear for still, is this one over here. I do in fact have a really good piece for that. I could slot a stopper in there, but it looks to me like a pretty nice 0.4. Yeah. Now if the rope runs out to here, and then that way, the direction I'm going, let's clip it just for the sake of argument. The rope's going out here and then back that way. It's also running over this little edge right here. So for both of those reasons, and actually this crack's a little flaring. So if this thing wiggles back and forth as the rope goes by it, it might walk back. Yeah, look at that, and open. So we've got all three reasons in play here why you sometimes might extend a piece. I don't want it wiggling into a different placement. I don't want to put a big wide bend in the rope, and I don't want the rope running over the rock right near the placement. This is a perfect example of when you want to do that. Now the rope's running nice and straight, it's not rubbing over the rock, and as the rope moves, the cam's not getting wiggled. The sling is eating up that movement, and the cam is staying right where I put it, which it really does want to walk back in the flare. Yank on it to set it, and that's pretty good. All right.